Hi, people. Sorry, I'm still under the weather. Anyway, like I promised last time, one of Kay's choices, and no surprise here, one of the movies that we have on DVD where this is one of the rare ones where there's no Blu-ray adaptation.
But I still think it's good enough to keep.
Um, Fi Fo Fum. I smell the blood of a Jim Sheridan film.
In America.
You'll understand it if you see the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, I'm kind of cheating now in that I did see the movie, but I only saw maybe 40 minutes of the hour and 40-minute movie, so I did know a little bit of backstory or of what happened, and I did have to calm her down on a scene or two.
Oh. I didn't remember seeing it. You said that we saw it as a family. Your dad wanted us to watch it,
No,
but
Dad made uh a big guy made me and JJ watch it.
okay.
But after like
So,
15 minutes, it got into like really, it wasn't that funny and was really like sad and depressing. So we were like, I was like, eject.
okay, so what it is, it's a family of four. It was five because they lost their son Frankie to cancer.
I
And
thought he
so
fell down,
he did fall down the stairs.
or I
He
thought he fell out of his crib.
he had cancer. Remember, if you watched her, she was videotaping. What was her name? Sarah was the mom. Johnny was the dad.
And then two daughters.
Right, Ariel and Christy. She lived behind her movie camera, her video camera.
Okay,
And
so
Ariel was very open and wanted to meet everybody and everything. So,
okay, we should probably get into this movie.
okay.
Um,
So they're in a car.
and they're going from they're Irish citizens in Canada going to America.
Right, to
No, I'm
just
not going to do that accent anymore, and I apologize to all Irish people.
they were just going to vacation for a few days.
They were.
Yeah, they said that they were going to vacation.
They
And
were lying.
right, I know. Because Ariel said, "We're on vacation. My daddy doesn't have a job." What's her name? Christy. How old is Christy? 10. Ariel was very talkative.
There's a there's something that's not explained about how this girl has three wishes, and is it implied that it's the dead brother that's granting
Yes.
these wishes?
Yes, that is implied.
Ha, okay, that's interesting. So she uses the first wish to get into America, and then they're in New York?
Right. That's why I think they came in from Canada. So they arrive in New York City and they see all the lights and the buzz and everything, and they're so excited.
And they basically live in the slums or
A
ghetto?
drug house, drug dealer's house. Nobody else would rent to them. And somebody
No,
had
it's more
just,
like it's an apartment with a bunch of drug dealers.
yeah,
It's not like a,
right.
it's not
They're,
a house, it's more like a,
but they have a hole in the roof with a bunch of pigeons.
and there's a bunch
It's
of like,
really bad.
there's a bunch of screaming and yelling. Didn't it mention
Yeah.
that there were,
Yes, ladies of the evening.
yeah. And, Jimon Hansu, who,
Is an artist.
you didn't know who Jimon Hansu was, but I did.
Until I saw him.
I was like, he's the black guy.
Yeah. So nobody was going to rent to him, so they end up at this apartment house. Really bad. It was really dingy, really bad. But
It was the ghetto.
the bad part of New York City, yeah, where not many people
Do
have
you even know
money.
what the ghetto means?
Yes, Justin. but they didn't describe it as there. It was a ghetto,
It
but
was the slums, pretty much.
yeah, but they were resourceful. They got
No offense, ghetto and slum viewers.
they got a chair. They got different things that people were throwing out at the curb, and they painted and
Then
yeah.
they needed, then it got hot, and so they needed air conditioning, and
He found somebody throwing out an air conditioner. He pulls it all the way, and then he needed $1.99 to buy a different plug.
so then he, like, donated beer bottles, or,
Recycled,
yeah, bottles.
turned in,
Uh,
yeah. And then he had
and then
$2 and he got a penny back.
they saw E.T., and then they saw E.T. in the theaters to cool off.
Mm-hmm.
Still have not seen that movie. One day,
Hmm.
people.
Okay.
We don't have it on DVD, so
Okay. Well, the father, I guess, was an actor or something.
he was a very struggling actor.
Right. Well, the
Was he an
directors,
actor? I thought he
yes.
was. I thought he was
The
just doing odd jobs like taxi and
Well, that came
school.
after. That came after because his wife got pregnant and they needed money.
Well, we probably should have mentioned how they then did like a wiffle ball thing at a carnival, and that was where she used her second wish to win an ET doll and their money back.
Yeah. Because the money, if you kept doubling the money, you could keep going with throwing the balls. So he needed to get one more, and it was like $164 or something. I don't remember.
164 was like over 1,000.
Okay. And he finally got the last ball in, so he got all of his money back.
And the
And
doll.
yeah, about a $499 ET doll.
So anyway, the two daughters go to Heaven Ice Cream Park.
Which
The
were
Heaven Ice Cream
That's where
place.
mom worked.
Um,
They
and
went
then
also to a private Catholic school.
that's a little bit later. Then this is when she finds out she's pregnant.
Yeah, but they were going to school in the fall.
This was after that, hence why it was in the summer and hot.
Well, he went to auditions and he had great accents and everything, but the directors kept saying he had no heart. He had no feeling. And that was because the
He was
oldest
repressing
daughter,
memories.
right, Frankie, he never said goodbye to Frankie and let him go and stuff like that.
So anyway, then they get ridiculed for having homemade
Homemade
Halloween
Halloween
costumes
costumes.
at a school party.
That was the Catholic school that they
Er,
went to.
wow, they didn't put two and two together with that. Which I wasn't around in the early 80s, or I wasn't even born. Kay, no offense, but you were around in the 80s. Did people like stare and ridicule when they had homemade
No,
Halloween costumes?
no.
I didn't think so, yeah, someone said this movie kind of feels like it should have been set in like maybe the you don't want one of them in the cage. Oh, no,
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 you
no,
don't need
no.
to, Justin. Stop it. Come here, Missy.
Anyway,
With me. Yeah, Coaster Kitty.
put her in the
No, she's
cage.
fine. You be with us, okay? So, trick or treat means they would go door to door and
In the apartment.
they would, well, where they lived, and they would get candy. But this apartment, they're banging on doors, banging on doors. They finally bang on the door that says "Keep Out,"
Jimon Hansu's.
and
Can I
and
put her in the cage?
no, and they keep
People,
banging, and he says, "Go away, go away,
people,
no!" Bang, bang,
people,
bang, bang, bang.
people. Now do you see why I like to have one of them in a room when we do reviews? This is why.
I can leave anytime.
Am I wrong? Anyway,
No. So they're
someone,
banging on Mateo's door, who is an artist.
an artist who is going to die. It's very obvious he's going to die. He has a disease where he will die from it.
Because there's not a cure.
And something that one person said on IMDb is that even though the movie is set in the 80s, this like anti-Irish in Irish intolerance and homemade Halloween costumes, that sounds more like a 50s or 60s thing than an 80s thing. I didn't grow up in New York in the 80s, maybe that's just how it was, but it does feel like it's not set it's set further ahead. It's it's something where it should have been maybe set in like the 30s or 40s maybe.
And 50s.
Maybe around that time, but set in the 80s, it's like, was there even anti-Irish attitude in the 80s?
I don't know. There's anti whatever all the time. So it depends on where
Anti-Pepe Le Pew.
it depends on where you live and what they went through. This is just their story.
So anyway,
It wasn't a bad story.
he doesn't give them candy, he gives them change
A jar of change that he had. It was pennies and nickels.
and dimes. And and it was like $3 or $4 in coins. He said,
$2 something.
I thought it was like three something.
I
It's
thought
like,
it was two something.
I'm not gonna do the voice, but it's like, here, you take it. I don't need it anymore.
Okay.
And then
And of course Ariel was all open, and then what's her name? Christy opens up the refrigerator to see if there's, or he opens up the refrigerator and she sees a bunch of medicine in there, and he closes it again and he's like, there has to be something here I can give you. And then the father is outside the door because he didn't really trust him.
so anyway, they find out that the pregnancy has complications.
Right. But
Um,
he told her that the baby is a blessing.
mhm.
They will have good luck with this baby. But the mom was told by the doctor to abort. He said, you've got to be really tough. If the baby comes early, the baby could die. If the baby comes late,
She
she
would.
could die.
I was gonna say we lost monetization, but we're not monetized, so. Because he said the A word. Um,
Oh,
so, anyway, as the baby gets closer and closer to health, or being born, Mateo gets, I keep wanting to say Mateo.
it's
Matt,
Mateo.
Mateo.
Mateo,
Anyway,
he gets
I
sicker and
know.
sicker.
Yeah.
And then Ariel is like, why do you have those sores on your face? And he goes, I'm an alien. I'm going back home. So because he knew that she liked E.T.
And I don't think we should spoil the rest of the movie, even though you can probably guess what happens. But we're not going to spoil it.
So you're not going to
We're
say,
not going to spoil it.
Okay.
So,
What do we got coming up next?
well, we should probably give a synopsis.
You're not going to spoil it?
No!
Then why are you giving a synopsis? I thought
Like
it was
final
okay.
thoughts, like a wrap up.
I probably would watch it one more time. But I'll wait a little bit to watch it.
I don't know if I'll watch it again. It's not
It was
one of
touching.
it's not one of those movies I enjoy watching. I don't like seeing like
Well, they were struggling, but you know
yeah.
what? They came through it. So it's a story of
Redemption.
a strong family.
No, not redemption, perseverance.
Right.
Redemption implies that they got revenge.
And
like,
E.T. does play a role, the movie throughout, after they see it and stuff like that. So if you're looking for
this is a tough movie to
heartwarming,
watch.
yeah. But I think it was done pretty good though.
Hmm.
You know,
I liked
maybe
it better
maybe.
than Dream House that the director would later do.
Mm, but anyway.
And I barely remember Get Rich or Die Trying with 50 Cent that the director also did.
Mm.
So,
It has
um,
good meaning. It's heartwarming. They persevere. So
persevere.
persevere.
You,
But
you know
anyway,
what?
you make up your
You
own
know what?
mind.
I just realized this review is kind of depressing. And how are we gonna do hint for our next movie? And I know how. Go in the middle. Go in the middle of the screen. Oh, Misa Jaja Binks! Next week, you're the
Oh
me.
no.
Yes.
Okay. Bye bye.